change median area. And from here I can see the infection scale. Nice big open clearing in here, but I'm not setting up in a clearing. There's tire tracks here. Some people come up here probably to do landscaping, maintenance, etc. So I'm gonna get out of the way here, tuck myself into these trees. Oh. Litter bugs. People have been up here. I'm gonna grab that. Tuck it away so I bring it on my way out of here. Hey. This looks good, actually. The clearing is right behind us there, and the inspection station's right over there. I'm gonna go up a little closer in a bit once I've got settled here. This is a really good spot. As long as nobody walks along there, we're gonna be safe. And it's probably gonna snow tonight, so I'm not expecting too many people walking past. First thing to address, these are Himalayan blackberries. They're invasive and they're growing here. And they're very sharp. Exactly what'll put your eye out. Even this dead vine over here is still very, very sharp. So all of these, you can see it'll snag your clothing in no time. So you can imagine what it'll do to your skin or your eyes. So I'm gonna tuck all these vines out of the way, so in the dark, they're not gonna pose a problem to me. Should brought gloves, but wasn't expecting this. It's a big one there. Before we set up, I'm just gonna crawl up here, and I'm staying low today just because of all these Himalayan blackberries. I moved all the ones I could see that should pose a problem, but you never know. So just crawl through here. So they got their little shack there and a bunch of enforcement vehicles. And I got my home right here for the night. This looks good. This looks good. Got a couple hours of daylight left, and I'll explore because there's a bunch of really good spots. But this one I like because it's got a front row seat to the show. This spot here is definitely further away. And it looks like people bring their off-road vehicles up here sometimes. And typically the people doing donuts in their off-road vehicles don't care about me. So many cool spots here. Like, I could set up a normal tent right in here. As long as nobody hikes through, I'd be just fine. Some of these trees look a little sickly. I think that one's done for. What's in the kit? It's always the question. For today's mission, I got, first and foremost, I'll pull this out, bear spray, because this is bear country. All year long, they don't seem to hibernate here. My flashlight, this is just a LED thing, runs on AA batteries with GoPro for a nighttime time lapse. Got my external battery pack so I can keep everything charged up that I need to, along with associated cables, extra battery for the main camera. In case it rains or snows, I was going to bring a tarp, but with all the trees in here, I figured an umbrella would probably work if I could just, put it above me, using a tent tonight. It's like a one-person bivvy type thing, made by Gear Top. They're not sponsored, but it's a pretty good tent, except the camo is questionable. It's not a realistic looking camel. Tripod, sitting chair, sleeping mat. I didn't know the ground would be this soft. Water. Fuel for the stove. It's the isobutane mix, part of the meal. Broccoli, collapsing pot. It's a Sea to Summit, some macaroni shells. Small MSR butterfly folding stove. You know, a couple of utensil things. Sleeping bag, it's a Sea to Summit as well. It's supposedly a comfort zone is -4 degrees Celsius. We're going to be pushing that boundary tonight, I think. Lower limit, -10. I find the better quality of sleeping bags, the less they exaggerate the temperature they're good till. And that's all I got. My preferred stealth camping shelter is that Hennessy asymmetrical zip hammock. Second best choice is a small bivy tent like this. It's actually tall enough that you can sit up in at one end. So if you had to sit in there in the rain or the snow, you'd be able to. The hammock I like because the fly will cover you so well you can actually sit there and cook out of the rain and you stay completely dry. Why make a camel bivy if you're going to put neon string included in the kit? I'll leave the umbrella out. Nice thing with this is it's got a door on both sides, so I don't have to worry about which one I'm setting up. Scale traffic is really stopped, so either everybody's running the scale right now or they are closed for the day. They keep sporadic hours so that people never quite know when they're open. And in that case, I just might be good until tomorrow morning, other than the elements. Time for the controversial stealth test. I'm not going out that way towards the scales, just the way I came in where there's the clearing. I don't expect anybody out there. And that's what we got stuff here. And that. This could be interesting. Ah, that's awesome. No problems there. Yeah. Okay. That looks pretty good. And actually, yeah, that scale looks completely closed now. From like 15 to 20 feet away, I can't see a thing. Look at this. Oh yeah. Oh, these blackberries. Grab it where there's no thorns and just tuck it around somewhere and pray that it doesn't fling back and hit me in the eye. Yeah, I never felt safer. The employee at the scale, I think, just got into his car. And let's just make sure he leaves. There he goes. I'm free and clear. That'll work. Yeah. Nice little break in the weather, and I'm feeling pretty cozy, pretty stealthy. Shelter is set up. I don't know if it'd be that quiet, but the scales are closed, so cheers, buddy. According to the radar, there's a lot more precipitation coming tonight, and there's no way around that. It looks like mostly snow or sleet right now, but honestly, I don't know what would be worse, rain or snow. Fortunate for us, we've got the umbrella. All is quiet. A little too quiet. It's not normal for these adventures. This time it's rain, not snow. So back under my umbrella tree. This umbrella is a surprisingly eloquent solution to a very stealthy problem. And I'm thinking a little bit bigger and camo. So much easier to set up than a tarp. Packs up real quick, shake it off and it's dry. And I don't need a huge area usually. I can put actually a weight on the bottom of this. That should stop it from flying away so easily. It's really cooling off. So I'm gonna get the self-inflating air mattress to start self-inflating and the sleeping bag to start lofting up. There's more activity at the weigh scale. A couple vehicles have pulled up. I don't know if another shift is starting or if it's just people pulled over for a rest or something, but it's one way to find out.
Imagine if Fresh Sheet Day could become Fresh Sheet Week. With Downy April Fresh, you can climb into more freshness, night after night for up to 7 days. Downy breathes life into your laundry.
There's definitely activity there, and the lights are on in the shack. I don't think they were on before. And there's a couple of vehicles pulled up right by the weigh scale, so we might get some more traffic coming through here tonight, which is interesting because stealth camping, when everything is going smoothly, is really not that exciting. Looks like a fire truck and some other first responder type vehicles, and there's flashlights going on, so I'm gonna stay healthy. It's like a little fire truck convention or something. I'm just gonna lay low. I don't want to sound like my overly paranoid self here, as usual, but it seems like they're gearing up to do some type of a training thing. There's some flashlights out there, and they're getting gear out of the back of their trucks. So I'm gonna wander to the road right beside. I can, just get some stuff out of there. I'm gonna just go for a walk. I don't know if I'm supposed to be in there, but let's just not push our luck. Beats me what's going on, but there is a lot of people with flashlights. All right, they just seem to be inspecting their trucks or weighing them or something. The way they were dressed up, all in their gear, I thought they'd be coming up here training or testing out their gear or something, because it's a good wooded area and it's pretty dark, so they had their flashlights out and it's well lit down there, so nothing to worry about at all. Nothing to worry about. I'm just trying to stealth camp here. This is exactly why you don't like campfires when you're stealth camping. On a side note, a big shout out to all the first responders and firefighters. You guys do a great job keeping us all safe and working these late hours that nobody else wants to. You're making society possible. Thanks, guys. They've been going for over an hour now. They seem to be just practicing backing up, maneuvering the large vehicles and the fire engines and rescue vehicles. So I'm going to wander further away and cook dinner, because I should do that anyways in bear country. We don't want to cook where we eat. And although bears aren't super active this time of year, it's not impossible to see them out. It's getting to be almost spring, so expect anything. I think I got what I need. Time to go far away from here, where I can turn off light and we can cook. Yeah, they're going to be out for a while, I think. Cook up a simple stealth meal. There's this deluxe, rich and creamy, both rich and creamy, shells and cheddar. Is this Annie's brand. It's down to 70% organic ingredients now, so that's good. I'm going to break off some bits of broccoli and dump it in while I'm boiling it. That's it. Actually, a meatless meal for once. Oh, not quite vegan and not quite organic. We're on some very wet moss here, so nothing should explode or tip over, catch on fire, any of that stuff. All right. Here we go. Couldn't be easier. Break off some broccolis, pieces of them. I don't like the shaft of broccoli. I just like the flower parts. This is a really good meal for this type of thing because you don't have to add butter or milk. Boil it up and then dump in this probably very unhealthy mix of cheese. And this thing even has a little strainer, so one less thing to bring. I'm not going to tempt fate. I'm just going to walk away from this and let it boil and dump this in. This looks awful. Looks like Cheese Whiz. Oops, I've started a controversy there. I don't care for Cheese Whiz, but some do. It doesn't look bad. How processed is this going to taste? Not bad, honestly. It's salty. You know, I'd take this over most of those freeze-dried meals, that's for sure. Shortly after this, I'll get tucked in. They're still at it, but it's really starting to snow and it's getting chilly, so I'm gonna crawl into the tent to hunker down. Peace and quiet, relatively. There's still the highway right there, of course, and I should have done a better job trying to stay dry. It was snowing more than I realized. I was in the dark for most of the time, and that's like number one thing that you got to do in a serious survival situation. But stealthy times call for stealthy measures, and I should be okay tonight. Any colder than this, and I wouldn't have wanted to be as damp as I am right now, but it wasn't too bad. Better that it was snow than rain, to be honest, because rain would really soak into the clothes. The snow, a lot of it just brushed right off. So that's my 2 cents on that issue. I've got the stuff I need in here. I've got my bear spray, some water for the morning there, and I'm gonna see if I can set the GoPro up for tonight outside the door. Oh yeah, that lens is fogging up pretty good. Okay, all settled in for the night. Yes, I'm using my backpack as a pillow. There's some cushy parts on it that are actually working pretty good, and I have to keep it in here to stay dry. So it's not going to be fun packing this stuff up in the cold and in the snow tomorrow, but we'll see how that goes. I'll have to dry it out again really quickly because I'm on a tight turnaround as far as filming schedules go. So see you guys in the morning. I hope I stay warm tonight. Good morning. I feel that was a record low for sleep. It was pretty warm, but I just had trouble being comfortable last night. So looks like my camera's got some fog inside the lens here somewhere. So got a little wet last night, I think. Well, we're gonna start tearing stuff down and getting the day going. I'm gonna do as much as I can in here before I go outside. Seems like we're back to that time of year where every single time I go camping on a nice day, the next morning's like this. And that season in Canada goes until June. I have to give a shout out to the folks that have donated to the Not a Beer Foundation. Thank you guys so much. It really was a delicious not a beer. So, oh wow, that's cold on the hands. Whew, okay. So gloves next time. It's funny. I got used to being out of the Pacific Northwest, and although I know this is slightly below freezing, maybe -2 Celsius, so maybe 30 degrees Fahrenheit, I just haven't acclimatized this year to the cold temperatures. But these jeans, they're like fleece lined jeans. Underneath of that, it's long johns. I got layers, layers, layers. That is the natural enemy of the Pacific Northwest, is unnecessary layers, almost to the point of ridiculousness. But everything goes back in the bag. I was going to carry out the fly separately because it was really covered in freezing rain, but that's how I lose things. So I'll have to make a point of pulling this all out to dry it before the next camping adventure that requires it. Get this out of here. This has been here for a while. Budweiser. Huh. Okay. Wow. Sure transformed into a winter wonderland here, I can say that. See if I can remember my way back and wait for my pickup. So thanks to everybody for watching. I gotta try to keep up a good filming pace here. I got help for pickups and drop-offs. So I'm not sure, obviously, you know, this weather wasn't expected and it's gonna get a little colder, but over the next bit, we're gonna really put the push on filming to get more on schedule and caught up. So thank you to my long-suffering subscribers and people following the channel. It really means a lot. The kind comments, everything else really makes a difference. So cheers, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Dare I say it? A perfect crime. It's been a walk. All right, see you guys later.
Nissan Rogue has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 11 years in a row. Drive the award-winning Nissan Rogue today.
Savor every moment at home. Create your sanctuary at home. Find your happy place at home. Design your life at home.
Hey guys, we're going up the Mica Mountain Trail, kind of. We're getting the car as close as we can to it, because that's the site of a historic Bigfoot or Sasquatch sighting around here. Now, I'm a skeptic about these things, but a lot of people have requested it, so I'm just going to go to the site of a documented historic sighting, or very near to it. We're going to set up camp and see what we can see, or hear what we can hear. I've got a good microphone. We're going to see what happens. Got beautiful wife and I, and this rickety old 97 Toyota Corolla. We'll take this thing as far up the logging road as we can get it to whatever looks like a good camping spot. And we're going to keep our eyes peeled and ears peeled for anything unordinary. Yeah, we clearly are in bear territory, and this one sets the record. This is a huge bear. It's judging by the looks of it, I'm guessing a huge black bear, because I saw some smaller black bear piles back there. And grizzlies and black bears normally don't overlap territories much. Grizzlies are a little bit of a bully, so if it's just black bears out here, that's okay. But we do have some precautions that we're going to take here, definitely, because we're in such a wildlife infested area. Now this is a beautiful spot. The mosquitoes are horrendous. That's about the worst that I've seen them on this trip so far. So first things first is I'll get this thermosol going, and that should kill the ones in this vicinity. Then I can set up our little rain tent. We have just a little sun shelter tent thing, because it's supposed to rain, and that'll keep the rain off of us nicely. And we'll set up a sleeping tent somewhere else so that we don't have to cook right where we're eating, because we are seeing a lot of evidence of bears right in this area. Most of the blueberries in the area have been eaten. They've been picked down to nothing. There's still a few leftovers, but I think the bear's been through earlier, and we're going to make it fairly unpleasant for the bear around here. And I know we are in their backyard, but there's enough room here for all of us. We just need to not surprise them and let them know where we are, and not attract them with food right to our tent. We shouldn't have a problem. That's I'm speaking through my phobia of bears there. So this thing, let this bake the skeeters out. Then we're going to set up our little rain shelter. I'm more scared of the bears than any potential Sasquatch, because I don't believe in Sasquatch or Bigfoot. But here I am, skeptic's point of view, and we'll see what we can see out here. Yeah, it's starting to get rid of some of those darn mosquitoes, but I'll set up a little rain shelter thing here, and that'll be a nice base of operations. It really shows how much I'm missing that screen tent that pops up like nothing. We picked up a different tent, and it is such a hassle. You know, if I were going camping a couple times a year, it wouldn't really be that annoying. But since I'm going out, like 60 or 70 times a year to go camping, setting up a tricky structure gets a little bit annoying. Let's see how easy this thing goes. Looks as instant as it says on the box. Okay. Yeah. I've never been more appreciative of the gear I've been using until this trip. We picked up a Coleman Bristol model tent. It's like an 8-person. Because all they had was the paper thin one or this humongous 8-person one. And that the really little one, I'm going to give that away. I've already got somebody who would be very wonderfully gracious to have it, and we'll put it to good use. So I'm going to try to set this thing up. I sure miss my pop-up shelter. I'd be done already with step 1, and then you know what would be happening right now. Instead, it took me an hour, almost an hour to set this up last time. I hope it goes a lot quicker. Oh, why me? Oh, all right. Step 1 is not even completed, so it doesn't matter. Step 1.5 today. Oh, this is going to be good. Yeah. I'm a full convert to those hub tents, or whatever the system is. Like this one we picked up cost about the same as the normal hub tent that I popped out. And yeah, it's for the time and convenience, you know, I guess if you got snakes that could slither underneath, or venomous spiders or something that could crawl underneath and get you, then for sure you want a floor. In the climates where I camp, not a requirement. There's nothing that's really going to come up and get you from underneath the bottom of the tent. The mosquitoes, you know, the occasional 1 or 2 might find their way in, but we haven't really had anything get into the tents on us. But yeah, it was 1955, and right around these parts, let me double check my research. 1955, when William Rowe reported an affidavit at his sighting with sketches and everything, just up towards the summit of this mountain. Now, of course, I've spent so much time in the wild, I haven't seen anything really Bigfoot, Sasquatchy, but I know people are fairly, some people are pretty sure they're out there, but I figured, yeah, well, why not come up here to where I know they have been reported in the area. Now, what I'm more concerned about is grizzlies, because in the affidavit, he said originally he thought his sighting was a grizzly because he'd shot one there the year before. But we got a killer mic on the camera, so tonight we'll point it around. We'll try tapping on a tree and see what we hear. I'm not really expecting much, if anything. If something seriously knocks back at me, I'll be sleeping in the car, but I don't expect that to happen. So the rain's beginning to fall. Maybe I'll throw the fly on that tent and then finish setting it up shortly. I'm probably just going to set up half of it for tonight just to keep the rain off of us. That's the way it goes around here. But I'm going to drink more of this. You guys crack your step 2s at home. And yeah, then we'll get onto this Sasquatch sighting thing here. But keep your expectations low. Now I'm officially done with any tents that require tent pegs as part of the structural stability of the tent. I always end up on ground that's either too soft or too hard. And I know they got a various assortment of, you know, ice tent pegs, sand tent pegs. I've used lag bolts before, but who can carry that many assortment of tent pegs? You know, like, that's a little better. Yeah, like a lot of the tents I set up, they'll just, the only reason the pegs are there is to stop it from blowing away in the wind. So if I put enough heavy stuff in the tent, it won't go anywhere. But yeah, this tent, without these pegs, this whole side folds in like the side of a tent trailer. Anyway, I'm going to get a little bit of firewood, which should be possible because we're in the middle of a clear cut. And yeah, let's go do that. Dawn and dusk are the prime time for bears, and this is coming to dusk here very quickly. I've been blasting the music. I've turned it off right now so that I don't get a copyright strike. But in case I see a bear and I want him to go away, I give it a quick blast with the air horn, and that should scare them or sound strange enough. There's not a lot of really loud things in nature other than lightning maybe, or an avalanche or something. And of course, bear spray for if something comes worse to worse. And I will be walking not too far from our compound, and I figure if we get a good fire going and then crank the talk radio again, that should keep them fairly far away. So soaking wet firewood plus lighter fluid, of course. Give her a little kerosene too for, I think it's the same stuff to be honest. Wet firewood is the hardest thing you could ever have to try and light. Also, anybody new to the channel, don't do what Steve does. Oh, yeah, and anything that smells, even this stuff, bears love it. It's 2,200 hours at the encampment. Nothing, nothing unusual. I haven't gone to bang a tree with a stick, but I'm anticipating if I do that, there's going to be an echo because we're in a mountain valley. So I'm bracing myself for that possibility, but there's one way to find out. Let's go hit that tree with a stick. Well, here goes nothing. I'm not even hearing an echo, but maybe it's not loud enough. Maybe I need a better stick. I don't even know how they actually do this. Could be playing with fire. Definitely need a better stick. Well, I let him know we're around.
Goodnight's nighttime underwear offers overnight protection for up to 100% leak-free nights.
Everything you know about dragons is wrong. Streaming now. Peacock brings the adventure of dragons. How to Train Your Dragon. Rated PG. Streaming now only on Peacock.
Ooh, hands like honey.
My wife said no more plants. Didn't say anything about trees. Holidays are here, and you can find everything you need to make your season bright at the Home Depot.
You only have so much time. So feed Science Diet with our clinically proven antioxidant blend, helping pets live healthier as long as possible.
Nope.
Because you're only human, there's Hills.
2,300 hours. No sighting. Nothing suspicious, but I think it's time for something delicious. And that should shake him out of the forest and come running over to check things out. This little structure, this is staying in my camping gear. This actually went up pretty quick and pretty slick. It's a little big, but smaller than the other screen tent I normally bring. Yeah, there's no screens on it, but they probably actually make attachments for this one. And any tent with more than 2 poles is off of my list now. It's too crazy for the amount of camping that I got to do. I can't. I can't do like an hour and a half, 2 hours setup once or twice a week. That's just insane. Anyway, time to get cooking something else. And a little low on nature's abundance.